High on a perch. Everyone knows that birds and cats like to go up in trees. Pie the bird made a nest high in a pine tree. Pie liked to sing on the perch and take care of her eggs. One day, Pie saw the old cat, Kyle. First, Pie sang out to give Kyle a fright. Then, Kyle saw Pie and started up the tree. Next, Pie set off to fly. Kyle seemed fierce and sly, but when a bird escapes to the air, a cat cannot follow. Finally, a dog barked. The cat sat trembling and then ran inside. The problem with Sly. Way up high, Twala slid the glass door open and picked up at the gray sky. She sighed. It looked like it might rain. As Twilight came back inside, a tan cat leaped out on the seat. Hi, Cy, Twilight called. She picked up the cat and set him back on the floor. Twala smiled as her pet jumped and ran behind a plant. When Twala sat down to eat, she did not see Cy run for the sliding door. Just as Twila finished her meal, she heard a fierce barking and then a shrill hiss. Twila jumped up and saw that she had not closed the door. A shocking sight greeted Twila. A big dog with big teeth stood on its back legs. Twila's mind raced as she saw her cat dash to safety high in a treetop. Cy, Twila cried and ran with fright. I'm sorry, my dog gave your cat a fright, a man yelled. He tugged on the dog's leash and dragged him back. First, Twila spoke to the shaking cat, hoping to get him to jump back down. It did not work. Cy would not leave the branch he was sitting on. Then Twila ran to get a ladder. Twila's mom came to help. They lifted the ladder up and leaned it on a tree. Mrs. Bind stepped out the ladder. Then she held out her hands to the trembling cat. Come here, Cy, she pleaded. Cy stayed on his perch. Twila's face fell in dismay. Mrs. Bind climbed back down and hugged Twila. Cy will calm down when he's hungry. We will just have to wait. Twila spent the morning watching her cat. Then she called her pal Brian on the phone. Cy is up in a tree and he will not get down. I don't know what to do, she said. When my cat escapes, I set a treat on the back steps, said Brian. I will come over and help. A plea for help. Twila and Brian put out fish and waited, but Cy stayed up in the tree. Not even a hawk right by the tree could make Cy move. The day dragged by, but as soon as there was daylight, Twila felt some hope. As night got closer, Twila had to go home. She was full of fright for Cy. He must be cold. Also, he had not had a bite to eat that whole day. Cy will be fine, Mrs. Bind said. He has thick fur to keep him warm at night. When Twila climbed into bed, she knew it. It would be difficult to sleep. She liked Cy sleeping at the end of her bed each night. The next day, Cy was still in a tree. Twila heard his cries. She saw the great sky. It would rain soon. Twila saw a man get out of a big truck and begin to fix a phone line. He got into a tub that lifted him up high. Twila made a plan. She raced outside and waved to the man in the tub. Twila told him about Cy. The man gave her a bright smile. He lifted the tub to the cat. Cy leaped into his arms. Finally, the man came down and handed the cat to Twila. Cy, you are safe, Twila yelled. Twila beamed at the man. Thank you, sir, for saving my cat, she said. You're welcome. I'm glad he's unhurt, said the man. He waved and went back to work. Twyla ran into the house just as it began to rain. She smiled, happy to have Cy home at last.